Hello and welcome back. This is the Clay Golem. This is Foundry VTT, and in this video we're looking at an add-on called Pin Cushion, which is all about map pins, and it's pretty nifty. So what you can see on the screen, in the last video we were looking at Watabu, if I've said that right, map generating, and I've just imported one of those maps that I generated from there, just playing with it, just bringing it in, and here we go. We've got this here as a scene. Now what you may notice is, yes, it's brought in the words and things, but I didn't put any map pins in because I knew I wanted to look at pin cushion in this video. So if I zoom all the way in here, you can see that in the square here we have a map pin that when we hover over it tells us it's the gallows, and it's got a picture of the gallows on here. If I click on this, it will open up and give me my picture of the gallows. And just over here on the hill, yes, I'm aware this wording is horribly written. You know, that's imported like that. I didn't bother fiddling with it, but I could have done. But we've got another map pin here, and if I hover over it, it says Deepwood Grove, and if I click on this one, it's going to bring up a picture of my grove here, and a description: the druidic grove secluded at the top of the hill, preserved from intrusion of the town. So the idea is this town kind of grew up around this village, this druidic grove, and it was maintained as a sacred place, even with the town sprawling around it, this port town. So this is what Pincushion allows you to do, is to create these, and you can see I've got my own images on here, and they connect directly with journal entries, so I can put writing and stuff on. So it's pretty cool, and it's a really, I mean, I know we can do some of this stuff just using the default. You know, we can make a journal entry, we can drag that onto the map and give it a map pin number, and we've seen that many times, and it's really good, and it's a lovely little function. But yeah, this is pretty good, isn't it? And we can hover over it, and there's lots and lots of options what we can do with this. So let's create a new one. Now first of all, before we do that, just show you which modules I've got installed. I literally only have Pincushion and the requirements for that, which is socketlib and libwrapper. And if you've got any mods on yours, you've probably already got socketlib and or libwrapper anyway. So it's not doing anything, you know, it doesn't rely on massive amounts of other mods and things. We like them like that when they're nice and self-contained, because you get less conflicts and less issues with them, with some of their dependencies updating and breaking stuff. So really, really nice. Now if we have a little look at the settings here, there is a ton. There's a ton of settings. The best thing to do is to work out exactly what you want to do with this. And of course, if you just Google Foundry Pincushion, you can bring up the Foundry page for it, which has got lots of stuff on there. But it talks about things like the preview maximum length for the text preview only. You can change the number of that, force the notes to show, preview delay before it pops up, all little exciting things like that. But because we're talking about map pins, you can have journal permissions on them, because actually it's referencing the journal. So you can have your default permissions for that, the folder that's going to be in. Default image icon for creation of a note, so you can choose a default for that. Select a specific folder, all of those exciting things. Now there's lots of stuff here like enable tooltips, default icons and stuff. You don't need to fiddle with this. It depends what you're trying to do, but there is a couple of really useful ones. So look at this one, default note icon for players, not GM. You can upload one. So rather than just sticking with that book, so what that means is when you create a map note, it defaults to the book icon. Yeah, you can change what your default is. That's nice. I mean, yeah, if you do go with the default with the book icon, you can change it per map note anyway. But if you're constantly using the same one, yeah, just change the default. That's going to be easier for you. GM labels, we've got some color settings here. Only if setting enable revealed state on scene notes is enabled. So you can, obviously with journals, you can have them observer, owner, or hidden from the players. And as you can see, these relate to this. So linked icon tint, not linked tint, revealed, not revealed. So as the DM, you can see which of your icons have been revealed to the players as they explore the town. Things can become revealed to them, or rather, the DM can reveal them to them, etc. Enable sidebar journal images for Game Master and for players. What does that mean? Okay, so if I jump to my journal, that's really small. I need to zoom in on the edit. Future me, do that. If you can see next to the gallows, we have a picture of the gallows. Next to this party journal, we have a letter here. It's putting an image here. Now you can, as it says, turn that off for the Game Master so they don't see those images. Turn it off for the player, or you can have it on. It's just a really nice way, visual little, oh yeah, that's what that one's about, image next to there, which might be really nice for your players if you want to use it. Default text size, maximum width, all of these exciting things, mouse pointer position to show the pop-ups, etc. Default player pin defaults. So again, there's another default image you can put in there, default sizes, and all of that exciting stuff that you can do. So there's lots and lots of options, but the chances are you're going to fiddle with a couple of them to suit your preferences and never touch them again. But there is lots of customization. Okay, so notice on the right hand side, we were just looking at this journal part over here. Deepwood Grove does not have an image, whereas the gallows does. So what's the difference there? If I double left click, we can open this up. You can see that this gallows, we have a text image here. But when we look at the Deepwood Grove, this is text that I've inserted an image in rather than being a image screen. Yeah, okay. Bit slightly odd, but that's the difference, because it's saying, hang on, I haven't got an image for that. Let's double right click on the gallows. All right, so point number one, to edit or add any of these, we do need to be on the left hand side. We need to be on this journal notes map pin page. If we double click left, it opens it. If we double click right, it opens it for edit. Now you can see journal entry. Where does it link to? You don't need to. What page in there? Oh, it's gallows. There we go. We've got just pulling that image in from gallows. We can choose a page section if we've got it. We can put in the text that shows on the map, including its coordinates and stuff. Now normally you would just drag it rather than typing those in, but you can. Is this globally visible, which means it can be seen from anywhere on the map. Okay, so they don't need line of sight. Now if it's a town map like this, the chances are you're going to want them, just look, you can just see the map pins. If they're revealed to you, you can see them wherever you are, because it's a top-down view of a map rather than exploring the streets. It's up to you. Entry icon, this is where it defaults to book. I've got it on custom because I've uploaded a custom icon for this map pin, and that's obviously that gallows picture. I can choose the size of it, I can choose the tint of it if I need to, I can choose the size of my font, etc., and whereabouts it puts that. So hovering over here, it's all to do with, that gallows word popping up. And I've made mine quite large because this, if I'm zoomed out on this map, it's, you can't really see it very easily. Notice there is pin cushion for Game Master only. Here's a whole host of things that you may or may not want to play with as the Game Master, and this is where the power starts to really come into it. Is the pin transparent? Show it only to the Game Master, so you can have secret stuff on here that players can't see to remind you, oh yeah, muggers hang out in this alleyway, or whatever it might be, just something to remind you. Trick setting, enter the number of spaces to be added to the suffix. Things like that you can play with. Is the text always visible rather than it being a pop-up? So we can turn that on if we want to, or we can hide that label. So do not show the journal preview. Show the preview as a text snippet. Lots and lots of things you can play with here. Where's the placement, to the east of it, and those colours. We've got another icons we can upload here. Now it does say here, warning, the module setting in enable player only icons by default is disabled. So there's a couple of settings there. Depending on other settings, they will or will not become available to you. So notice, because we turned that thing on, the gallows is now on there all the time. I have to hover over the Deepwood Grove, but the gallows one is constantly on there, and that was that pincushion setting where it says text always visible. So it's a really simple little thing to change whether you want to do that. Okay, let's look at Deepwood Grove. So we haven't got that icon there. The page we're bringing from is Deepwood Grove, but we don't have an image for Deepwood Grove. So what do I mean by that? Let's open up the actual journal itself. This is a text page, not an image page. It's a text page with an image in it. If I add page and I select an image page, let's just call it Grove because I can't be bothered to type anything longer. And this is where we can then use the image that we want. I've got my Druid Grove there, and we can save that. This is just a text. I'll get rid of the display title. Don't need to do that. This is just an image now without the text. Now I've now got an image and then I've got text with image. And you might think that's a bit odd. But if you look on the right hand side, I know you can't see it very clearly, but Deepwood Grove, we now have an image showing for that. Interestingly, if I configure ownership and say all players none, it keeps the image. So you'd have to check whether that keeps the image for the players as well. But if you don't, you might want them to jump into this page where you've got the writing and everything's laid out nicer, rather than just having a whole entry. Well, hide that entry from them. Just don't let them see it. So now when we hover over Deepwood Grove, not only does it say that, but if I double left click, immediately brings me into this page. It's not even taking me to that Grove image page, because we've told it journal entry Deepwood Grove, and the landing page, rather than Grove, we've told it to take us to Deepwood Grove. And if we had sections on that page, we could choose that section, and of course we can change the name of it if we wanted to. So it's pretty cool. Should we set up one completely from scratch? All right, let's do that. Let's pick one of these buildings. Let's pick this building here. Okay, I'm going to double right click on this building. No, I'm not. I'm going to double left click on this building because I want to create a new one, not edit an existing one. Let's just call this the Tavern. Okay, now permissions for players. Do we want them to have none, limited, observer? I'm going to make it observer. I'm not going to bother about a folder for that, and I'm going to click save. Straight away we've got our tavern, but we haven't got a journal entry for this. It's created one for us now, which is lovely by default, because we now have a map pin. It needs to relate to something. So it's called Tavern. And at the moment, if I move over here, you can see underneath we've got a book icon because that was the default. We can change that to any of these. That will change it to coins. There you go. We can change it to a paw print. There you go. Change it to anything we want. But of course, what we probably want to do, let's zoom in so you can see that tavern square a little better down here. Hovers over it, says tavern. We're going to go custom, and it's going to allow us to upload an image for this. And I'm probably in the wrong place. Nope, close enough. That'll do. I'm going to select my tavern image for that, update my map note, and now I have a tavern image. Now I can drag it around. If I hold shift, of course, I can put it a bit more central. It's quite small though, so let's make that bigger. Let's make that 80. There we go. That's a bit bigger. That's a bit nicer. You might say that's a little too big. Whatever. I'm not going to worry about that for this purpose. I am going to make the letters bigger on it. Tavern. But obviously I could put the full name on there as well. Now, because we haven't really done the journal entry, it's not going to show us anything else. On the pincushion for the Game Master, of course, we can make all of these amendments, make that text always available, always visible, just mix those two words, hide the label, etc. You might choose to say, well, look, if they don't know that's the tavern, there's no helping my players. They've been there 3 times already. So you might hide the labels on the basis of you don't need it to pop up and tell them, or have it permanently on. Your choice. Okay, so let's stick with that, and of course we can go in, and then because this is a normal journal, we can do pretty much what we like in here. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give it an image, just call it tavern, and then I'm going to locate my tavern image, which should be down here. There we go. Lovely jubbly, save that. There it is. Display my title, don't need to. Brilliant. Notice in the journal column it's now got that image on there. I can then add any pages I want to, text, rules, map location we don't need because we're using this instead, but I can put that in. Now most of the time you'll do text, maybe it's we're doing a description, and you can put in whatever you like here. Type in all of your description. If you've got other images that you want to include, you can include them as part of this text. Let's pick the map of the Stonehill Inn, for example. We can include that in here as a map as part of the text. That's way too big, but there we go. Doesn't matter for this purpose. And then I can continue my description below that. So just like a normal journal entry, because it is a normal journal entry, I can choose not to hide that as well. Lovely. Let's save that, close that, close that. And we've got this map pin here now that if we double left click on it, it opens up to the tavern. We've got our description, including our interior map. But of course, double right click, I can open this up and say, yes, go to tavern, but actually go straight to the description, please. So now when we double click it, it's straight into that description page. It doesn't go to that initial tavern image. So you don't have to worry that that image that you're using for over here on your journal tab, you don't need to worry about that, you know, getting in the way and it going, oh, it takes them to the image and then they have to click another thing to take them to the actual journal. Nope. Teleport them straight to where you want to, and as I said before, even if there's sections in here, we're going to have that image. We want the description, and of course we can change that description. We can, you know, that text label for it, the size, and everything else, as you've seen me do. Lovely. That's it. That's the tavern. Now I've got the words stuck on there. I'm going to turn that off again. Not always visible, thank you. I prefer it not to be. I would, you know. As soon as they work out that's the Deepwood Grove, I just need an icon to remind them where that is. It's as simple as that. All right, so let's pick somewhere. Let's pick down somewhere down in the port here, and we're going to quickly create another one just in case you are wondering, because it was nice and quick, wasn't it? It's nice and easy. I'm going to create one there, and we're going to call this Shrine. Shrine to who? I don't know. I haven't bothered to say. We'll save that. We're going to go in and we're going to custom our entry icon. We're going to select an image. I'm going to upload a new image. There we go. I've got one. Some images I just stole off the internet just for this purpose. Obviously, you can spend time into finding your own artwork and exactly what you want to do. Make your own artwork, etc. You know, make it your own. Do what you like. It's up to you. So we're going to slap that in. I'm going to make that slightly bigger just because of the way that it works on here. And I'm going to make that bigger as well because it's a bigger map. There we go. We've got Shrine. There's a Shrine. That's it. We're done. It's already created a journal entry for us. So again, if we want to have that image on the journal, we're just going to go to image. We're going to call it Shrine or whatever we want. Create that. Find our Shrine picture. No, not map of the Stonehill Inn. Save that. I personally don't want to display the title. Lovely jubbly. Job done. We've now got that image over there. So we can hover over it to see what that is. It's a shrine. If we, let's say we want to jump straight to that section. If we left click on it, there we go. It opens up that journal image with a much bigger picture of that shrine. Yes, the background does not fit the town setting for this. Like I say, just some images I grabbed to show it off more than anything else. How much functionality does this add? I mean, it doesn't really in many ways, but it is slick. It is nice. Using these images and stuff, and I've chosen to do this on a town. If you were doing this on your overland map, etc., You can have lots of details about places, all the background. You know, they hover over a particular town and it tells them what that town is called. They can double click on it. They can read about that town. Oh yes, this is the port town of blah blah blah. This is a small fishing village, etc. As they find out that information, you can reveal it on their main map and they can decide based on that limited information they have where they want to travel. Yeah, I mean, use it however you like, of course. So yeah, it doesn't add massive amounts of functionality, but it is a really nice look and feel. Now, as you know, at the moment, I've got people working through Curse of Strahd is the main thing I'm focusing on at the moment. Don't really need it for that. If I was starting from scratch with Curse of Strahd and I was just planning how to do it, would I include Pincushion? Do you know what? I probably would, so that they've got that. They've already got that map of the whole area, but Pincushion would enable me to put all of the different areas on it, pin them all on, and then reveal them as they've, you know, oh, they found where Castle Ravenloft is. Yeah, they can see that quite early on. I can put a pin on their map to make it really clear that's Castle Ravenloft. That's Bavaria. Yeah, this is where you encounter. This is where that dodgy bridge was. This is where the you know, the windmill is, and all of those things. So really, really nice and lots of functionality, but it's all quality of life stuff rather than anything else. There we go. So that's Pincushion. I think it's really nice little extra. If you've got any other suggestions, other little mods that do a similar thing in a different way or provide different functionality, let us know, because it is one of the things that the DM has to control is maps. So if you've got ways of pinning stuff on maps, different mods to do it outside of the core Foundry stuff, outside of your core game system, obviously we've done Pincushion or anything else. If you want us to have a little look at it, drop it in the comments and we can have a butcher's, because what this channel is all about is giving you guys as much information as possible so you can make the best decisions for your game and your group and your style about how you want to plan and run your games. Thank you very much. Leave a like, leave a comment, anything you like, you know, even if it's abusive comment, you know, that counts for the algorithm. Please don't be abusive, especially not to anybody else. If you have to be abusive, send it my direction, not at each other. Thank you very much. And I will see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.